Have you ever heard of a book that literally has a secret hidden inside it? For almost a century, Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich has been exactly that. It's a book that promises a single, powerful secret to achieving pretty much anything you want in life. So, what is it? What's this big secret that's supposedly created more millionaires than any other book? Well, today, we're going to find out.
Right from the get-go, Hill throws down this gauntlet. He doesn't just give you the secret on page 1. He says it's woven into every single chapter, hiding in plain sight. He's basically saying the answer is right here in front of you, but are you actually ready to see it? So you know what? Let's take that challenge. Let's see if we're ready.
So where did this whole idea of a secret to riches even come from? Well, the story is fascinating. It actually starts not with Napoleon Hill, but with one of the richest men who ever lived, the steel tycoon Andrew Carnegie.
Okay, so picture this. It's 1908. Andrew Carnegie sits down with a young journalist, Napoleon Hill, and gives him a mission that sounds almost impossible. He basically says, I want you to spend the next 20 years studying the most successful people in America to figure out their formula for success. And that's exactly what Hill did. 2 decades of his life dedicated to this one quest. Finally, in 1937, Think and Grow Rich was published.
And I mean, look who he talked to. This isn't just some random list. We're talking about the heavy hitters. Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, John D. Rockefeller. These are the guys who literally built modern America. He got to sit down with over 500 of them. So this book isn't just some guy's opinion. It's built on decades of research into what actually, truly works.
So let's get one thing straight right away. This secret isn't like a magic word or some get-rich-quick trick. It's a whole system, a set of principles that work together. And once you understand them, everything kind of clicks into place. So let's start uncovering those principles, starting with the one Hill says is the most important of all.
This is the engine of the whole system, the absolute starting point. But Hill is super clear about this. We are not talking about a simple wish. It's not like, oh, I hope I get rich someday. No, he means a burning, white-hot, all-consuming obsession.
And to show just how powerful this is, Hill tells this incredible story about a guy named Edwin C. Barnes. Now, Barnes had this one single laser-focused goal. He wanted to become a business associate of the great Thomas Edison. And notice that wording. He wanted to work with Edison, not for him. That's a huge difference.
Here's the thing. Barnes had nothing. I mean, literally nothing. No money, no fancy connections. He didn't even know Edison. The only thing he had was this unstoppable desire. He just showed up at Edison's lab, probably looking a bit rough, but you can bet that his determination was practically screaming from his eyes.
And you know what? It worked. He took whatever menial job he could get at the lab just to be in the building. Then one day, his chance came. Edison had a new invention, the dictating machine. And Barnes saw its potential when nobody else did. His sheer belief and passion convinced Edison to give him a shot. And bam! That desire led to a partnership that made him incredibly wealthy. He literally thought his way into that reality.
Okay, so you've got this burning desire. Awesome. But what happens when things go wrong? Because they always go wrong, right? Well, this next clue is all about the #1 reason people fail. It's simple, they quit. Usually way too soon.
Hill has this perfect story to illustrate this, about a guy named R.U. Darby. During the gold rush, Darby and his uncle went out to Colorado, and, against all odds, they actually struck gold, a huge vein of it. They were convinced their fortune was made.
And then, all of a sudden, poof, the gold was gone. The vein just vanished. They drilled and they drilled trying to find it again, but they came up with nothing. So, what did they do? They got frustrated, they felt defeated, and they did what most of us would do. They quit. They sold all their machinery to a local junk man for a few $100 and went home.
But this junk man, he was a little smarter. He thought, let me get a professional opinion. So he hired a mining engineer. The engineer takes one look, does some quick calculations, and finds the gold. And guess where it was? Just 3 feet. 3 feet from where the Darbys had stopped digging. That junk man went on to make millions from that very same mine.
Wow. What a story, right? The lesson is so powerful. Most of the time, what we call failure is really just temporary defeat. Darby learned that lesson the hard way, but he never made that mistake again. That ability to persist, to drill those extra 3 feet when everything in you is screaming to stop, that's a vital piece of the secret.
All right, let's recap. We've got a burning desire. Check. We've got the persistence to not quit. Check. But what do you actually do?
How do you take this idea in your head and make it happen in the real world? Well, that brings us to our third clue, which is all about the how-to.
According to Hill, every single goal needs a solid plan, and the place where you build those plans is in your mind, using what he calls your synthetic imagination. Now that sounds fancy, but it's pretty simple. It's not about inventing stuff out of thin air. It's about taking all the ideas, concepts, and experiences you already have and just mixing and matching them in new ways to create a plan of action.
And this is where it all comes together. When you hit that wall, that temporary defeat, it doesn't mean your goal is impossible. It just means your plan didn't work. So a successful person doesn't give up on their dream. No way. They just go back to that mental workshop, use their imagination, and cook up a new plan. And if that one doesn't work, they make another one and another one.
I mean, think about Thomas Edison again. The guy failed 10,000 times trying to invent the light bulb. But did he see it that way? Absolutely not. For him, it was 10,000 temporary defeats, 10,000 plans that didn't work. Each failure just gave him more information to build the next, better plan. That relentless cycle of planning, testing, and replanning is how thoughts become reality.
Okay, we've gathered the pieces of the puzzle. A white-hot desire, the grit to never ever quit, and a definite plan that you can change and adapt. Now it's time, let's put it all together and finally reveal the big secret itself.
After this whole journey, after all the stories and principles, what is it? What is this grand secret that Napoleon Hill spent 20 years of his life documenting? What is the one core idea that built all these fortunes?
And there it is. The secret isn't a trick. It's a profound, almost earth-shattering idea that your thoughts are not just fleeting impulses. They are real things. They are a form of energy that, when focused by desire, fueled by persistence, and guided by a plan, must transform into their physical equivalent. Thoughts literally become things. That is the secret.
Hill argues that this isn't just some nice self-help idea. He says it's a law of the universe, as real and predictable as gravity. So, the real question isn't whether the secret is real. The real question is for you. Now that you know it, what definite, burning desire will you choose to transform from just a thought into your reality?